what's up, guys? Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. I'm Kevin. I'm broadcasting to you guys from Whistler, BC, Canada. It's a bit later than a usual live chat, but couldn't miss it. So if you guys have any questions, please hit me up. Anything at all. It'd be also great to hear where you guys are coming from. And yeah, it's a super chat as well. So if you want to donate, support the channel, and then it highlights your question, gets a priority, definitely see those. So what's up, everyone joining in? Thanks, everyone. I see somebody's here from Scotland, all over the place. What's up, Max? What's up, Martin? Yeah, it's coming to you guys from Whistler. It's a bit of rain, bit of snow out there today. If you guys haven't checked it out too, uploaded a new video I did yesterday for buying my new snowboard. I picked up the T-Rise Pro by LibTech. Was just looking for a really good all-mountain carving board that I could also take into powder, also do some, tricks with, spins, butters, all that kind of stuff. So that's my new sort of like all-mountain board. Absolutely loving it. And I had my friend Andreas from Comore help me yesterday buy it. And yeah, it was really a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm going to get to as many questions as I can from you guys. If you guys missed the live chat, just leave your questions below. But I'm seeing loads of people tuning in. We've already got over almost 200 people tuning in. So thank you guys all for joining me. And yeah, we're just going to get to as many of your questions as possible. I'm just going to straighten this up a little bit here. All right. Yeah, let me know, guys, as well, like, how's the snow where you are? Hopefully you guys are getting lots of good snow. Here in Whistler, it's been kind of different weather. We've been getting some rain lately. But yeah, it's going to be really good. A quick update as well. On Sunday, I'm going to Mammoth Mountain, California. So I'm going to be in Mammoth, California from Sunday to Friday. And then I'm meeting up with TJ there. Also, our friends from SportRx. So Rob and Brittany and the whole crew from SportRx have been helping us out with goggles. You're going to be out there. And yeah, I'm going to be there riding for 5 days at Mammoth Mountain, my first time ever going to Mammoth. Then we're heading to Reno, Nevada, and we're going to snowboard at some of the local places near there. Maybe we might be going to North Star, but somebody else recommended that we go to Kirkwood, I think it was. Somebody from the last week's chat. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. And yeah, it's going to get to as many questions of you guys as possible. And yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. All right, so let's get to some of your questions and comments. And yeah, just a reminder, it's a super chat as well. So if you want to support the channel, hit that super chat button, and then it gets your question priority. So super stoked to be here with you guys today. So first comment, Spencer Grover says Kirkwood is a great place to go. It's my go-to. All right, so we might hit up Kirkwood instead of North Star near Tahoe. What's your best trick? I don't know what my best trick is, but some of my favorite tricks of late have been hand plants, and I'm still working on getting that tame dog. I feel like once I get that tame dog down, that'll be my best trick. All right, what's your favorite board? Oh wow, that's really tough. So the tried and true board that has been my favorite for terrain parking things has been the Salomon Huck Knife. That's last season was just my absolute favorite board. It's hard to say. I'm really loving the new Arbor Westmark here. That's been a lot of fun. But the T-Rise Pro, I just need to ride those boards more to sort of put them as my number one. But so far, the Salomon Huck Knife has been great. Somebody asked me, what's my worst slam? I definitely had a crash maybe 10 years ago now where I got flipped upside down, landed onto my shoulder. It was kind of nasty, but healed up and back riding, and going to avoid those from now on. Awesome, guys. Thanks. Well, got a lot of people commenting about Mount Hood. Mount Hood's a great resort in Oregon to hit up to. They've got the summer snowboarding all summer long. So yeah, absolutely Mount Hood. All right, Kevin, you know the Burton Process off-axis. Is it a good snowboard? Yeah, absolutely. I had the Burton Process off-axis a couple boards ago. Chris was recently riding that board too. Great board. The off-axis just means that it's got a deeper heel side cut, which makes those heel turns and heel carves a bit easier and more aggressive. And yeah, it was good. It was kind of like a good playful board, lots of pop, easy to butter, good in the park. So yeah, it's just like one of those great all around boards, kind of more like terrain park leaning. So yeah, I think it's the perfect board. One of the really good boards for like getting into new tricks. Somebody asked, what do you think about Burton step-ons? I haven't had a chance to ride them yet. I've been trying to track down how I can get my hands on a pair. I'll let you know as soon as I get my hands. I've been talking to Showcase Snowboards here in Whistler about getting some Burton step-ons, so hopefully that works out soon. All right, first super chat. No question for some funds for the taco fund. Oh, amazing. Thanks, Bad Riders. $5 Australian for the taco fund. Thanks, man. And yeah, we'll definitely be getting some tacos tonight for sure. So what is the best wax for mid conditions? So you can actually buy different waxes for all kinds of different temperatures. There's tons of different ones out there. I would just say like find that wax that is suitable for the temperature that you're gonna ride. All right, what's a good beginner snowboard with a soft flex? For beginners, I really like a snowboard that has camber under your feet. That gives you like stability for stopping. Camber basically means that the board raises a bit so that when you push on it, it pushes back, keeping your edge totally in touch with the snow as you ride. Really good for stopping. But the thing that snowboards have been doing in recent years is they do the opposite on the nose and tail. So the nose and tail raises away from the snow, which makes it a bit more catch-free and easy to turn. So I like that combination. I wouldn't say like one board specifically, but that combination of like the reverse camber nose and tail really helps. Rob Gams, $1 super chat. Thanks, Rob. And Spencer Grover, $5. What do you think of the Burton Freestyles? Burton Freestyle bindings, is that what you mean? Yeah, the Burton Freestyle bindings, they're like a good intro level snowboard binding. So they're very good for your first pair, something that you're gonna wear for a few seasons, then upgrade. I think they're like a softer binding, so perfect for sort of beginner or casual riders. But I would say that if you're getting into more advanced riding, like into the terrain park or like big mountain stuff, then you want to sort of step up, get maybe the Cartels or Malavitas. And if you're looking at really aggressive riding, then you even step up even higher to the Genesis. But the freestyle bindings are like a good sort of beginner binding. So do you ride skateboard in the summer or scooter? I don't ride a scooter, but this past summer was my first summer getting into skateboarding. Had a blast with it. I felt like it really improved my balance. Definitely one thing I recommend to anyone out there who, if you don't have access to snowboard every week, definitely hop on a skateboard. It can just improve your balance, get you ready for snowboarding, especially if you're in the Southern Hemisphere right now, down in Australia, New Zealand. That's where you're gonna be right now. Getting on a skateboard or a surfboard definitely is great. Actually, my favorite day from last summer was at the Windells skate camp. And yeah, my friend Garrett was like pushing me to do bigger and bigger drop-ins. So that was my favorite day of last summer. Definitely, yeah, check out skateboarding, a lot of fun. Question, so I ride regular on a skateboard. I get on the chairlift regular, but I prefer riding down the mountain goofy. Is this new to you? I've heard of this before. I think it's kind of fine, but ideally you want to be getting off the chairlift and riding with the same foot forward. It's kind of a weird thing, but if it works, if you can make it work, then just roll with it. And then you also want to be riding lots of switch anyway, if you want to get into tricks. All right, what's the best camera besides a GoPro? Oh, wow, that's a tough one. I don't know. For like action cams, I actually haven't tested out any of the other action cams. I know that Sony does one. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Do you ride with right foot or left foot forward? Definitely, I'm a right foot forward, so I do the goofy. Emilian Popov, €2 super chat. Thanks, man. Spicy tacos will help with the flu. Oh yeah, you called me out. Yeah, guys, I'm getting over a cold, so yeah, thanks for the $2 for the spicy tacos. I'll make them extra spicy. Yeah, I feel like everyone's getting sick at this time of year. Signal Snowboards opinion. Yeah, seems like a pretty cool sort of thing they got going on there. It's like a subscription snowboard service. Haven't looked too much into it, but I think the idea is that you pay like in installments monthly, and then they send you like a snowboard and like, I don't know, new parts or something every once in a while. So I haven't had a chance to ride their snowboards. I have reached out to them to get my hands on some, but I haven't had the chance yet. Rob Gams, another $1 super chat. Thanks, Rob. Taylor Price, $2 Canadian super chat. Most important tip for stomping your first 360? Oh, that's a really good question. I love questions like that. The most important tip. I'd say the most important tip is the takeoff, because the takeoff is what sets everything up. So for the takeoff, you got to get that. First of all, you got to be carving on an edge. That's gonna set your foundation for the takeoff. Then next, you want to have your knees bent so you can get a clean pop straight up into the air. So the edge and the pop, those work hand in hand. And then finally, just getting that good wind up. And then when you rotate, keep your head looking around and then visualize the landing. So if you set everything up off the takeoff, then everything else will be good. So good luck with that. Question, what are some intermediate tricks? I'm riding tomorrow and really want some recommendations. Please read, please. Some good intermediate tricks. I don't know, like intermediate, like spins, 180s, 360s, 540s. You can get into board slides, front side, back side, lip slides, hit some boxes. I don't know, try some easy rails. I guess easy rails would be intermediate, all that kind of stuff. Get creative with some butters. Go back, watch some of the videos with TJ and myself doing some butters. TJ's got some awesome style with butter tricks. So I feel like watch some videos, watch some riding, and then get some inspiration for some intermediate tricks. I'm an overweight 6-foot male. Should I rent a larger board than 160, or do you recommend that will be fine? It just depends. I think if you're over 200 pounds, then you kind of want to look at the scale on the board. Normally there's like a weight range for each board length. You can look it up online. Check out some of the charts that show your height and weight, and then what length board will be good for you. That's the best way to go. And yeah, like the heavier you are, the bigger board you need, because you need that longer edge to help to control your speed and slow yourself down and keep you in control. If you're really heavy on a small board, then the board isn't gonna slow you down properly. So check out some of those longer boards. Awesome. Jay Williamson, 507, $1 super chat. Thanks, Jay. No question, just a buck. Gary Sui, super chat. Thanks. Just to buy you a coffee. You are awesome. Awesome, Gary. Thanks. We'll definitely get a coffee tomorrow morning before heading up the mountain. Hopefully feeling better, and I'll get up the mountain tomorrow. Somebody else asking, do I ride goofy or regular? I ride goofy, so that's right foot first. When storing your boots, should they be laced or unlaced? Definitely, I think you want to lace your boots up, because if you lace them up, then they'll hold their shape better over the long run, especially if you're not going to be wearing them for 3 or 4 months, like long periods of time. Lace those boots up just as if you're wearing them, then they'll hold their shape better. If you're only, if it's only going to be a couple days between wearing your snowboard boots, just make sure you dry them out, and then you don't have to worry about lacing them up then. But yeah, getting them dry, short periods, lace them up during those long periods. Also, your bindings. Do up your bindings, because if you leave your bindings like just flopped open, then they can get weak, and you can actually have your binding, like ladders and things, snap. Taylor Price, super chat. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, Kevin. Here in Ontario, decent snow so far. Oh, awesome to hear. I'm originally from Oshawa, Ontario, so I was born and raised there. I lived there till I was like 19 years old, and before I moved out to Whistler. So it's good to hear that you've got some snow in Ontario. And yeah, lots of cool places. Ontario, Blue Mountain, Horseshoe. Is Horseshoe one of them? And yeah, I spent most of my time at Kirby and where else? Dagmar, Mount St. Louis. So going to France for first skiing holiday, normally ski, what's your best beginner board advice? Best beginner board advice or best like tip for a beginner? I would say like, yeah, when you're a beginner, if you're first time ever snowboarding, just take your time, learn at your own pace, know your own sort of like physical abilities, and then, spend that much energy and time into learning snowboarding. If you're not that active, like don't put in like a full 8-hour day of, really trying to go for it. Just like take your time, have fun with it. But if you are somebody who's like active and like into sports, then know that you can kind of like push yourself a bit more. So just, yeah, work at your own time, have fun. If you can, get a friend to hold your hand through those difficult parts. And yeah, check out the beginner snowboard playlist. There's tons and tons of videos on there to help you through your first day. But yeah, if you get a friend to hang out with you for a bit and hold your hands. Also, don't jump onto the T-bar or onto the chairlift straight away. Practice lots of that one-footed riding before getting up onto the chair. All right, so we got some super chats coming through. Jay Williams 507, another $1 super chat. Thanks, man. And Taylor Price, $2 Canadian. No way, at Mount St. Louis daily. Soon to Whistler. Awesome. Yeah, I used to go there. All my school trips, or most of my school trips, were to Mount St. Louis. Thanks for that, guys. All right. When do you make a snow trip When do you make a snow trip? Where do you go? So yeah, I got a couple trips coming up. On Sunday, going to Mammoth Mountain for 5 days. Then we're going to Kirkwood or North Star after that for 3 days. And then at the end of the month, from the 24th of January until February 10th, we're going to be in Europe. So we'll be in Austria, Switzerland, France, doing a bit of a Euro trip. Sarah M. with the super chat. Thanks, Sarah. Going to BC in February and was wondering which mountain and runs do you suggest for someone who hasn't ridden a legit mountain before? Oh, wow. Yeah, I would say like the biggest thing when you first arrive at one of these like big mountains is that you're going to be surprised at how long the runs are. So definitely just like start out getting your legs used to the length of the runs. So you're going to be, I remember my first time, I would get like halfway down to the chairlift and I'd actually have to sit on the side of the run, take a break, and give my legs sort of time to rest before continuing on to the rest of the run. So you're definitely going to feel like, at least for myself, like I felt like I couldn't ride the entire length of a run when I first arrived here in Whistler. The other thing is that, you just depending on the weather, but when you get to these bigger mountains, sometimes you can find yourself in sort of like sketchy areas or sketchy terrain quite easily. So try and like look and see where other people are going. Stay away from runs you're not sure of. Sometimes there's even like dangers that you might not be used to, like rock drops or things like that. So just be a bit cautious and get your like whole bearings for the mountain. I feel like after a day or two, you start to like learn like which runs lead where, how to get to what chairlift, how long it takes you to get from one place to the other. And then after like a little while, then you start to get used to it. But definitely at first it can be a bit overwhelming. So yeah, just have a trail map on you and yeah, don't push it too hard. So where is your favorite place to put a GoPro as you snowboard? So if I'm not using my GoPro, then I just have it either in my pocket or I put it in my backpack. But for myself, if I'm filming, I don't put it on I don't do the helmet cam thing. I usually just have a pole that I, put my GoPro on the pole and then I can film my friends or film myself pretty easy. So yeah, but if I'm not using it, just throw it into a pocket, or if I've got my backpack, I'll throw it in there. I try not to wear my backpack while snowboarding because the backpack can sort of like throw your weight off, so you can be a bit heavy like onto your heels, especially if you're trying to do any tricks. The backpack will definitely throw you off. Somebody asked, what GoPro do you use? So I'm using the GoPro 6. I just recently got it. Actually, the GoPro 6, I feel like is much better than the GoPro 5 in terms of the stabilizer that's inside the GoPro actually really works like very, very well. I've already noticed that the footage comes out much smoother than the GoPro 5. So yeah, if you're sort of debating between the 5 and 6, I would really recommend the 6 because it's got that smooth stabilizer built in. Somebody keeps asking me what are my thoughts on Never Summer. I actually have never ridden a Never Summer board, but I do have the Never Summer Prototype 2 on the mail to me at some point. My friends at the Go Ski app are sending me some boards, so the Never Summer Prototype 2 is one of them, so I'll be able to give you guys some feedback. But from what I've heard, like Never Summers are very well made, really quality boards. And Zachary Clark, I'm from Oshawa too. Awesome, man. Yeah, Oshawa's the dirty schwa. Bryce, tips for carving. Yeah, man, so carving tips. So when you're first learning to carve, take it one carve at a time. So, look uphill, make sure nobody's coming, and then try to get that line in the snow. I think that's a big one, like visualizing making a line with your snowboard. So on your toe edge, it's like your knees are bending down towards the snow, and then you're trying to keep your hips a bit forward and back straight. Whereas when you're on your heel carve, the feeling should be like you're sitting in a chair. So at first, just carve across the run. Always look up, make sure nobody's coming so you don't run into somebody. Then as you feel comfortable with that, you can start pointing it downhill. And I think the biggest thing when going downhill carving is trying to make the carves the same shape. What happens a lot is people pick up too much speed on their heel carve, and then they end up having to slide their toe turn. So think about carving on your heels, but cutting a bit of speed. Then when you get into the toe carve, you can carve it around the same shape. Awesome, guys. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. 104 likes, really appreciate that. Over 200 people watching. Super stoked. I hope you guys don't mind this later start time, 6 p.m. It's been raining here in Whistler, so I thought that doing the live chat on the mountain wouldn't have worked today. Just pouring. I think it's raining in the village, in Whistler Village, but snowing on top of the mountain. But I think it's probably that wet snow. So it was a good time to bring the live chat indoors, and I just talked to you guys in here. Why did you buy a new board? Did you not like the Huck knife? No, absolutely like the Huck knife. It's just getting a bit old. Starting to feel like it's getting a bit worn out, and I still like it a lot, and it's been one of my favorite boards. But I also want to try lots of different new boards as well. So that's why I'm picking up some different ones, and I want to get more boards that are really specialized in each area. It's just a lot of fun. So I've got the all mountain board now, got the powder board, got a couple park boards. So yeah, lots of fun with snowboards. And yeah, I just want to keep trying different boards so that I can just recommend to you guys different boards and better boards. How do I, excuse me, how do I nollie? Nollie, so yeah, if you guys don't know, a nollie is just the opposite of an ollie. It's when you use your nose to spring up into the air. When you're first learning to nollie, first pick some easy terrain, either flat or find some place where there's kind of a little bump in the snow or a little bit of an upslope. Then as you approach that, start to load up your front foot. So think about moving your hips over top, more over the nose of your board, and then sort of as you kind of either get to the bump or that little bit of an incline, then push off of your front foot, trying to use the front of your board or the nose of your board like a spring so that, you know, it pops you up. Then as you get that bit of a pop, just suck your knees up into the air and yeah, just get some air with the nollie. And then just keep progressing, keep practicing it. And the more you practice, the better you'll get. I feel like the biggest problem people have with nollies is they try to do them with too much speed at first. So just slow it down. All right, so Spy or Oakley Goggles? Thanks. I would say definitely Oakley Goggles. There are some good Spy pairs as well. I think Spies are great, but if you got the money to spend, Oakleys are more expensive. I think Oakleys are better. I prefer Oakleys for sure. And yeah, everyone that I've had, so Sporter X have been sending me out lots of different pairs of goggles. Anytime I've let people, you know, offered people to like take a pair up for the day, try them out, everyone always goes to the Oakleys. And so far, actually, everyone's favorite pairs have been the flight decks. So TJ borrowed some goggles, and he actually took a pair of flight decks. And then also my friend Brent wanted to try out a pair, tried the flight decks, ended up buying them. And I think even Jill, my girlfriend, she's tried the flight decks XM, which are just a bit smaller, and those are her favorite pair. So it's hard to go wrong. Harold O, what do you think of the Jones Mind Expander as an all-mountain board, followed by like 50 little snowboarders? Yeah, I think it's great. TJ absolutely loves the Mind Expander. If you've seen the review on it, he was super happy that day, absolutely loving it. It looks like a cool shaped board. It looks like a board that's a lot of fun. So I would definitely consider it. I don't think it kind of depends though on like what else you want to do with your board. If you want to ride all mountain and get into some tricks or riding switch, I don't think it's ideal for that because it's a pretty directional shaped board. And I feel like it's also made more for powder too. So keep that in mind. Why don't you sell your old stuff to buy some new stuff? That's a good point. It's hard. I'm just too busy to be like selling my old stuff. So that's why I haven't sold anything yet. It's great to have extra boards and things too. If like friends come out to visit, you know, I have some friends coming to visit in March. And so if they want to borrow some boards or borrow some of my old stuff, it's always good to have. Yeah, I feel like that's why. What are the best bindings? Oh man, the best bindings. That's a tough one. Actually, so I can only say from my experience, my favorite bindings have been the Union Atlases. TJ gave them to me, and yeah, they're sitting right there. Yeah, those have been my favorite bindings, and it was only from trying out different bindings and discovering, yeah, the best. I'm a big fan of the Unions. All right, so Claudia with the super chat. Thanks, Claudia. Do you have a video or would you make one on how to start fishtailing with a board to control speed without completely killing it? I can't figure it out. I think I do have a video on that. Maybe after the live chat, I'll go find the video and then put a link to it down below in the description. I feel like, so for like doing the fishtail, it's kind of, I guess it's a bit of intermediate / advanced sort of technique. You can practice it like on a mellow slope with a bit of speed, but you're basically, it's a really effective way if you're riding through trees or through like really, like tight terrain to just like get your board from edge to edge and just control your speed so that you feel like you're in control as you go. But I feel like, to be able to move your tail like that really smooth, you want to have like each knee really steering independently. So think about that. Think about bending your knees and then really using those knees. Also, I feel like your weight has to be kind of like alternating too. So when you start the fishtail, get your weight a little bit forward so that you can easily slide the board out. And then as it's sort of, coming out, you want to get your weight back a little bit again to spray some snow and then, start that whole thing over again. So it's a bit of, moving your weight back and forth, and it's a bit of like think conscious, be really conscious that you're spraying some snow as you go too. That'll just like help you to activate your edge so that, you spray a bit of snow, control your speed, and then you get your board back around and then onto the other edge. So yeah, that could be the way to do it. Just think about spraying snow back and forth. But I'll find that video for you, and then I'll put the link below after. Thanks for the super chat. All right, so what is the best trick to learn as a beginner/intermediate rider? The best trick to learn. I think the best trick to learn as a beginner is probably, just getting into all the basics. So ollie, nollie, 50-50 on a box. By learning to ollies, then you're going to be able to, get more height off of jumps. You start going for grabs. Probably the, easiest grab is the indie grab, followed by the nose grab. And then also, get into some butter tricks. So just tail press, nose press, butter nose roll, things like that. So, and also for the easy boxes, get into board slides. So you can either twist and get the board slide, or you can fully commit, get the board slide to fakie. Lots of good tricks there to start with. And yeah, so Isaac Howells, shout out to Isaac. And are you sick? Yeah, I'm sick. I'm just getting over the flu. Any tips for first black diamond? And then lots of snowboarders. Yeah, a few tips. First of all, you can check out, I have a video on the channel. It's how to survive your first double black diamond. You can still use those tips for black diamond. But when you're on a black diamond, it's definitely about controlling your speed. So you got to quickly go from edge to edge. And something that happens a lot of time with like new people on a double black diamond, black diamond, is that they're kind of afraid to get onto their toes. There's you got to really commit. So the first thing would be control yourself on your heels. Then when you go to get onto your toes, totally commit with everything. So from your head, your shoulders, your hips, your board, turn everything so that you come around onto that toe edge. Sometimes, if you're too afraid, you might be leaning back too much. So think about moving your weight forward. So slow yourself down a lot, move your weight forward, commit to that turn with your whole body. And something that helps you to commit and steer as well is take your back hand, for me it's my left, and then make sure that as that toe turn comes around, you're like pulling your back hand around. So as you pull it around, it just helps to completely get your board from one edge to the other. Really good question, man. All right. Do you detune your edges for park? And if you do, does it help in park? I keep slipping out on my board slides in 50-50s. I have been contemplating detuning, but worried about my free riding. I don't think so. I don't detune my boards. I'm totally fine. I've also watched TJ ride and do rails and boxes on boards that haven't been detuned. He's always been fine. So if you're slipping out, it's probably because you're like leaning too far back or too far forward. If your edges are too sharp, then that's when you would like catch. Like you would really notice that you're catching an edge on the box or rail, not really slipping. So if you're slipping, then just focus on your balance. But yeah, if you've got some kind of crazy carving board and you're catching, then that's when you probably want to detune them. But I would say don't detune your board. Do you think you could use the T-Rise Pro board in the park? Yeah, I do. I feel like it's going to be really good on jumps because of the magnet traction, because of it's rocker, but it's kind of like a stiff rocker, so it's got lots of pop to it. So I think it'll be a really fun board on jumps. I don't know about boxes and rails so much. It may be good on that too, but I'm feeling pretty confident for the jumps. I'm thinking it could be good because of the rocker shape too. Could be quick to like sort of press and also to get some like board slides and things around on. So should be fun in the park. How do you do a jump without worrying about catching an edge? Well, first, start small. So, you know, when you're trying to do your first jump, it's all about first controlling your speed with some setup turns, then letting your board go straight and flat, doing a small jump, and then landing straight. I feel like people, if you're catching an edge, it's probably because your board is going sideways, either, you know, off the jump or on the landing, and that just comes from not being confident enough yet with going straight, with riding with speed, and with turning. So really get comfortable controlling your speed as you ride, letting your board, you know, go straight for a little while, controlling your speed again. If you have really good control of your turns, of your speed, of letting yourself go straight, then that's the best way to sort of build yourself up to jumps. And then you won't have to worry about catching an edge on those jumps. All right, so tips on 50-50s. So a few tips for 50-50s. It's actually very similar to the first jump. So if you're going for your very first jump, you know, that whole thing again with like controlling your speed is just like a 50-50. You want to, for the 50-50, first of all, you don't want to do like really big turns up to a box. You kind of want to do what we were talking about a little while ago, but using your tail of your board almost like a fishtail so that you can kind of stay in a narrow corridor. So quick turns as you approach the box, then give yourself like 10 feet or like give yourself a good amount of space so that you can point your board straight and flat towards the box. So then when you get to it, your board is straight, it's flat, and then you just glide across it nice and smooth. The problems happen is when you try to do too many turns and you're turning right up to the box, because then you go from a turn to having to make your board flat, which can be pretty difficult. So get the turns done ahead of time, control your speed, then point your board straight and flat. And you can practice for boxes on the snow ahead of time too. All right, so hey Kevin, I just recently bought some used boots and my ankle lifts a little bit, and after a while I get ankle pain. Any tips? Oh no, that's not good news. Well, if you can, you know, you don't want to have your ankles lifting at all, ideally. So see if you can tighten like the inside of the boot more, and then also the outside, like that top zone of laces, where your sort of like ankle and your shin is. But if you're continuing to get ankle lift and foot pain, then you may have to get a different pair of boots. That's the problem with buying stuff that's used, is like if it's worn out quite a bit, then it's kind of like molded to somebody else's foot, then it's not going to be, you know, ideal for your foot. And yeah, something that I've recently learned from talking to some people in the shops here around Whistler is that you really want to find a snowboard boot. Like each snowboard boot is really designed for different feet and ankle shapes. So talk to somebody who's knowledgeable, and yeah, the ankle lift is the worst. All right, Kevin, tips on front/back 180s. Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, start by practicing them across the run. So getting carving is important for 180s. So getting on an edge so that you build that platform that you can spin from. Also for front and back 180s, you got to be able to ride switch really well. So practice lows of switch. That'll help you to commit. And then also for the 180, you know, pop yourself straight up into the air, and then just plan ahead too, like which way you're gonna spin. So either you're going to, what I always teach people is that the front of their board should spin uphill. That's kind of like the easiest way to learn at first. So as you're going across, you know, if I'm going across on my toes, I'm goofy. So the front of my board, my nose is gonna turn uphill for a backside 180. Then if I'm goofy going across the hill this way on my heels, then the front of my board is gonna turn uphill for a front side 180. So yeah, practice that way first, and then take it from across the run onto like a small bank, and then to like a small sort of like kicker that's off the side, and then if you just keep progressing until you get to that small park jump. All right, so Kevin, what do you think of quick release bindings? I haven't had a chance to try the Burton step-ons. I know like back you know, like 20 years ago, quick release bindings were really popular. And I actually, my very first pair were quick release. They were totally fine at the time, but in hindsight, they didn't offer me like much performance. But the new Burton step-ons are supposed to be better. Haven't had the chance to try them yet, but as soon as I do, I'll make a video for you guys for sure. All right. All right, so Kevin, what do you think of Spanky's ladder? Yeah, Spanky's ladder, that's one of my like favorite areas of Whistler, of Blackcomb Mountain and Whistler. It's, yeah, just crazy powder, steep, like sort of like when you're in Spanky's ladder, you feel like you're in one of those like Red Bull movies, or I don't know, yeah, just like some kind of action movie, because the mountains there, the Alpine is so big, it's like very rocky, jaggedy cliffs all over the place, very steep terrain. Some places that are sort of like, you have to really know where you're going to get to. So there's, yeah, sort of like these hidden little areas to try to find. So Spanky's is great. I definitely recommend, if you ever go to Spanky's for your first time, that, yeah, definitely go with somebody who knows where they're going. And yeah, go on like a good powder day where there's some decent snow, because you don't want to ride through there with moguls. That can be a real a hard time getting down steep moguls. And then also the ride out is a long cat track back to Crystal Chair. So just be mindful of that too. Okay, cool. So we got a super chat from JC, $2. Thanks, JC. And JC says, you should do ride with fans video. That would be a party. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm like meeting tons of fans here in Whistler, so that's been amazing. Yesterday, I met an amazing fan in Comore, Thomas. I think he was just a little guy, just like, yeah, getting into snowboarding. So it was really awesome to meet him. And yeah, I've been meeting. The problem is that when I'm up snowboarding, I'm also trying to like film videos. So I'm very much like in like film video mode. Trying to work on stuff, but you know, when I see like fans of the channel or subscribers, it's always awesome to meet you guys. It's been like an absolute blast, and yeah, trying to like include people more in the videos too. So like, getting them to do like a shout out or anything like that. And I guess like a few fans too, that people that I've met, I've kept in touch with either by like messages or a couple, actually a few fans this year I've been able to ride with. So that's been awesome. But yeah, the video schedule kind of keeps me from having too much of my own like sort of free time. All right. Yeah, so thanks for the super chat. 153 likes. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope this is a good time for you guys. I know that everyone all around the world, there's like different time zones, so it can be tough. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. Probably go for like 15 more minutes. And yeah, if you guys want to see more of these live chats, definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, oh, I got somebody here. Mark Jones says it's 3 a.m. Thanks for sticking around, Mark Jones. And yeah, also hit the bell beside the subscribe button, because then that bell will just alert you to every time I go live or upload a new video. And I hope you guys will check out the video I uploaded just a bit earlier with Andreas from Comore. Went through like some of the boards. He helped me out with buying the T-Rise Pro, and yeah, it was lots of fun making that video with him last night. And all right, so yeah, we got some people saying it's 4 a.m., 3 a.m. where they are. It's only, what time is it here? It's like 7 or like 6:45. So, all right, so Kevin, would I be comfortable on a rocker board if I ride a Flying V Custom? Yeah, it's very similar. It kind of depends on which rocker board. Full rocker boards they do have a different feel. So this, the Arbor Westmark is a full rocker, but it's got the, so fancy word for like bumps along the edge. They have the, it's called bump tech? No, what is it called? But there's some kind of tech on the board, like right where your feet are, that kind of like help you to dig into the snow as you ride. I actually really like it. It's been a lot of fun to ride, even though it's like that full rocker. So yeah, I think it could definitely work out. This has been my first full rocker, and I've been having a lot of fun on it. I think it's called Bump Tech. It's just these little bumps like on the side of the board. Actually, maybe I can show you. All right, here we go. Oh, Grip Tech. That's what it's called, Grip Tech. So right here, there's like a bump. No, can you guys tell? Oh, get out of the way. Kinda. Yeah, so basically just a bump on the, yeah, magnet traction is on the lib techs and grip tech is on the arbors. Awesome, guys. All right, so 15 more minutes. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. 176 likes. Awesome, guys. All right. Any tips for beginners starting in the park? Yeah, so first time through the park, I would say just try to get down all the basics first. Like your switch riding, learn lots of tricks outside the park, your hitting side hits, riding confidently with speed and control, all that kind of stuff. Learn some 180s and things outside the park. Then when you start to go into the park, go into like definitely the easier areas of the park, and it's all about really progressing at the rate where like you feel confident, because when you feel confident, then you're more likely to just like succeed, and you want to stay healthy and like avoid any injuries. So always like progressing where I think a good thing is you're doing maximum effort on the most minimal like terrain or the most minimal feature. So if you're trying to, your first box, don't just go from the box to a rail to like a jump. Practice on that box and then try to learn like lots of different tricks on the easiest feature before making the feature harder. All right. Much must purchase versus rentable gear as a newbie. Thanks much. I would say that, so as a newbie, you probably want to, the things that you can rent are your like boots, bindings, snowboard. Those are the sort of like renting staples. But yeah, if you can, definitely, buy, if you had to buy one of those, boots is probably the first one to buy. Because I think renting boots, there's issues with how they fit, if your heels are lifting out. So that would be the first purchase. And then from there, you kind of it's up to you. How much do you ride? Are you just riding once a year? If you're riding multiple times a year, maybe worth it to buy. If you're traveling, if every time you go snowboarding, if you have to travel, it could be worth it to buy or rent when you get there, because it can be hard to travel with like a full setup of gear. So it's kind of like lots of different things that go into that. In Whistler, can you rent a jacket? I think you can. I feel like you can, at the hotels and things, you can rent the whole setup. Hi, Kevin. I'm planning a trip to Whistler next year. When is the best month for most reliable blue sky POW days? Oh man, that is too hard. The weather here in Whistler is so crazy. It's constantly changing. So like right now it's raining. Next week it's supposed to be snowing. Last week it was sunny and warm. I think that the day that I made the video with Jill, we were up and carving, it was like sunny and warm. So the weather's always changing. I think the most reliable for powder is March, but also in March you get rain. So it's you can't bet on Whistler's weather. Ever been to Europe? Never been, but gonna make it out there at the end of January. January 24th to February 10th. Okay, I've been asking forever. Please answer me. Where can you get free stickers from online? I don't know where you can get free stickers online. What is the easiest snowboard trick? Easiest. Um, Tail press, maybe tail press. Like, it's probably the easiest. Tail press. Jill deserves a second board in her quiver. Getting better with those turns. Yeah, she does for sure. Actually, she was looking at a board at Comore. Andreas was kind of like pointing her towards a couple different boards. So there might be another board in Jill's quiver soon. What do you guys think of that word? A lot of people don't like it. I feel like my gut reaction to that word quiver kind of makes me a little feel uneasy. All right, so this one keeps coming up over and over. What is the best trick to learn to get you upside down? And what flip should you try first? So the best way to get upside down is to start on a trampoline. I feel like, so in the fall, I was doing lots of trampoline, sort of like training, going to this place in Whistler called Bounce, and I was just working on flipping in every direction. Side flips both ways, back flips, front flips. Definitely the way to get you upside down on your snowboard will be to practice on a trampoline. All right, hey Kevin, I'm ready to buy the Rome 390 Boss bindings with a standard strap. I have a pair of flow bindings right now in the control and now is the control and style different? Something I should be worried about. I have a pair of flow bindings right now. Is the control and style different? Sorry, man, I don't quite understand your question. So if you're going from flow to Rome bindings, I wouldn't be concerned. I think that if you're going from flows to Romes, there might be a little bit of an adjustment period, but once you use those bindings a few times, you'll get used to them. All bindings too, they're very adjustable too. So if if the straps are too short or too long, you can adjust those straps so they fit your boot perfect. You'll be fine. It's a bit of getting used to some new gear. It's always something to get used to, but it'll work out. Nomad Boarding, $20 super chat. Thanks, Nomad Boarding. My second time boarding, I tried linking my turns, but got nervous on my toe side turns and end up catching an edge or quickly changing back to heel side. Any advice on getting used to that? Cheers. Okay, let me read this again. My second time boarding, I tried linking turns, but got nervous on my toe side turns and ended up catching an edge or quickly changing back to heel side. Yeah, absolutely. That's such a very common problem is that when you get comfortable on your heels and then it's like intimidating to get onto your toes. So what happens is you try to get onto the toes really quickly, and then by doing that, you end up catching your heel edge when you go to turn onto your toes and fall back. It absolutely sucks. So my advice would be to next time you go snowboarding, practice your toe sliding for quite a while. Like do lots of toe sliding until you're comfortable on your toes. Maybe even divide it up. Do like half the run on your heels and half the run on your toes, or kind of alternate back and forth, where you don't even have to like turn. You can just roll over. But you want to just build your confidence on your toe edge. Then when you go to do that toe turn, like when you want to start linking, really take your time. So when you do your heel turn, let yourself slowly just slide into the heels, control your speed. Then when you go to do the toe turn, just do it nice and gradually. So don't try to rush it. Think about starting to let your board go into the direction of the toe turn a little bit, so your board starts going into an angle. Then let your board go straight and flat for a second or two, and then fully commit to the toe turn so that it just slides around. So think about just like turning your head, looking to the top, so your whole body starts to slowly turn that toe turn onto that toe edge, and that's really the best way. The thing that might happen is if you might fall forward onto your toes, but that's like a much better way to fall than to catch your heels going backwards. So yeah, just think about it, taking it to some easier terrain and letting that toe turn come around much more gradually. That should totally help you to avoid catching that edge. And thanks for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate it. All right. So we've been almost an hour, guys. Thanks for tuning in. 200 likes. Appreciate it. Mike Vroman, is Jill on a full camber? She would love a lib rocker or some sort of for the ease of turns. Yeah, absolutely. So the board she's on now, I believe, is like flat under her feet and then rocker at the nose and tail. So it's a bit forgiving, but I feel like, yeah, once she upgrades her board to one of the LibTech boards or like some of the other boards they have out there now, it'll really, she'll really feel that difference. Okay, question. What should I be able to accomplish on my first day? What is normal for your first day? So my first time snowboarding, I think I didn't have any like instruction or lesson, so it took me, I think my first day was probably just falling, but that's not. And then it took me like 3 days to learn how to turn. But for other people, if now that you like, because of, you know, you got the videos, so you can watch the videos, kind of get that like blueprint of all the steps to take to get to your turns. You know, everyone's different in how fast you're gonna progress. Some people, if you come from a background of like skateboarding or surfing, you can just strap the board on and start riding straight away. Where with, you know, other people, it may take them a day or two to get the turns down. But I would say, like, in general, you know, it probably takes you an hour or like 40 minutes to practice, you know, walking around, skating, doing the 1 foot riding, just kind of getting comfortable with the 1 foot. Then maybe like another hour or 2 hours, like doing the heel sliding and toe sliding. So like learning how to control your speed on your edges and kind of learning how to move your board back and forth. Then you could probably start trying your first turns. You know, like if you start in the morning, maybe by the afternoon, you can start trying your first turns like after lunch. So yeah, the progression is different, but I'd say like in general, you could get a few turns down by the end of the day. How do you find your crew? I have no one to ride with. Sorry to hear that. It just takes time. It's like talking to people in the chair, talking to people as you ride, or maybe not as you ride, but at the top, at the bottom, maybe, you know, you can meet other people who are riding solo and, yeah, just see what they're up to. It can be fun if, like, you know, you're riding in the park or just riding on some runs, and then you find somebody that's doing the same thing. So, or like if, you know, outside of snowboarding, you can ask your friends or like talk to people who you think might be snowboarding too, and just yeah, ask them to go with you to the next time. Snow Shadow, $5 Canadian super chat. Thanks, Snow Shadow. See you here every week. Sorry to miss you and Jill yesterday on Blackcomb. Did our first frontside 180 today. Awesome. Thanks for the tips. Oh, that's amazing to hear. Yeah, sorry we didn't see you the other day. It was beautiful up there. It was like a nice sunny day the other day. It was warm. So we were just up 7th Heaven, doing some carves underneath in the 7th Heaven area there. We didn't do like a full day. I think we did sort of like a half a day. As you can hear, I'm sort of like fighting this flu, so I haven't been up the mountain very much. Maybe it's a good thing that we didn't meet, because I might have been contagious. So yeah, but glad that you had a good day. First frontside 180, amazing, awesome, Snow Shadow. What is the best resort for park riding? Oh wow, that's tough. I feel like some of the California resorts are supposed to be pretty epic, like Bear Mountain. I've heard is an amazing terrain park. I think Mammoth Park is supposed to be really good as well. And then on the East Coast, I feel like there's lots of really crazy terrain parks. I know that one of the legendary parks near Minnesota, it's called Trollhagen. It's supposed to have like crazy rails, so lots all over the place. What is the best place to buy a snowboard? The best place, I guess, is different for everyone. If you have like access to like a good snowboard shop near you that has like a good variety, then you can go for that. There's also lots of options out there online, especially I think if you live in the States, there's like some really good online options. I know that Evo is a place where you can buy a lot of stuff. Usually, so below the videos, there's links to where you guys can check out all the gear and stuff that we ride in the videos. And that also helps us to earn commission on anything that you guys buy. So that's a pretty cool way to support the channel as well. If you need to buy something new, check out the links below, and then we get like a small commission from the sale of stuff. So just that helps us to keep the channel running, make some money to live, and yeah. But yeah, it's up to you. You can either do it online, or if there's like a good shop that's got lots of stuff nearby, then go for that. Oh wow, lots of questions, guys. Thanks. Answer, please. How do you control speed? If it is carving, how do you do it? The struggle is real. Yeah, you gotta keep struggling. How do you control speed? So the way you control speed is by using your edge. You can spray a bit of snow. Spraying a bit of snow is controlling your speed. As you come around a turn, so you can kind of push on that edge, build a bit of pressure, spray some snow, and yeah, that's the way you control your speed. Also, depending on your turn shape, you can control speed that way. So for example, if you're trying to carve, really let the carve come all the way around, and then using sort of like the bottom of the carve to control your speed before going into the next one. So lots of ways there, but yeah, using those edges. So it's basically when you're a beginner, and then when you're sort of doing the sliding turns, if you're a beginner, you're spraying snow downhill to control speed. When you're an intermediate, you're spraying snow to the side. And then some of the most advanced sort of turns and carving and stuff, you can actually end up spraying snow uphill. So lots of different ways to control speed with your edges. How did you meet Chris? We're just old friends. We've been friends for over 10 years, and met Chris through his brothers. So he's got two older brothers, and been friends with each one. And yeah, they don't live in Worcester now, but Chris still does, so we're still good buddies. Lately, I've been getting some intense chatter on heel-side turns. Any tips on how to fix this? Awesome, really good question. So if you're getting heel-side chatter, it could be a few things. First thing, check out is the angle of your high back. So if your high back is set to 0, then that just basically means that you have to lean further back to activate that heel edge. So try cranking your high backs forward a bit. I usually ride with my high back at a 3 or a 4. Usually the scale on high backs is from 0 to 6. So a 3 or 4 is midway or a bit past midway. But you can experiment, take it even farther. Try a full 6 on the forward lean on the high back, and that can really improve your heel chatter. The other thing with heel chatter is that as the turn comes around, you kind of want to your weight might be too far forward towards your front foot. So think about moving it towards your back foot, because as the turn comes around, more of the pressure goes to your back foot, and so that can cause some chatter if there's not much weight on that back foot. You can get chatter. So think about as the turn comes around, moving a bit of your weight to your back foot. That's one way to stop the chatter. Another way, what's another way? What else could be chatter? Maybe your turn shape too. So if you're coming in from your toes with too much speed and then onto your heels, you're coming into the heel turn with too much speed, then that can cause chatter too. So think about controlling a bit more of your speed on your toes before going into your heels. Hopefully one of those will help you with your heel chatter. All right, please answer. Hey Kevin, I'm scared of rails. How do I attempt? I can't afford the snowboard addiction rail. Also, I'm in Worcester this weekend. Also, I have step on and they're good. Hi from Seattle. Awesome, lots of good questions there. So if you can't afford the snowboard addiction training board, check out, there's a DIY training board video we have where TJ shows you how to build your own training board. That's pretty cool, really fun idea. I feel like that's the way to start. If you're like really concerned about rails, start by like doing some kind of like, you gotta do some off snow training. Yeah, check out that DIY training board vid. That really helps. And then the other way you can do it too is like progress. Like if, you know, start by looking for a down box to hit. So if there's like a difficult box, you know, go for that first. Or get really comfortable on a box and then find like a really easy rail to start on. So there's ways to do it. Just, you know, either get really good at boxes and then find an easy rail to kind of like up the challenge. Or yeah, to get the DIY rail training setup going. And yeah, hopefully you get some good snow this weekend in Whistler. What is your boot size? Do you ride wide board? Please answer, please answer. No, I don't ride a wide board, so my shoe size is a 10, and then my snowboard boot size is a 9. So I actually can just have like a regular width board, and yeah, it works all good. But if you've got boots that are like 11 and a half or 12, then you want to 11 and a half or 12, then you need to get a wide board. Even 11 is kind of on the line there. You may need to get a wide board. So Mike Vroman, $2 super chat. Thanks, Mike. No question or comment, just the $2. Taylor Price, $2 Canadian. Got to get some Snowboard Pro Camp stickers out, man. I know. Maybe somebody can email snowboardprocamp@gmail.com. If you guys can find me a good place that makes stickers and then also like ships stickers, because this for me to send the stickers here from Canada out worldwide is like a whole like new career on its own. I'll be like a sticker manufacturer. But if you guys can find me a website where they make the stickers and they ship them for me, that would be awesome. I've tried to find it, and I haven't found a good option yet. So if anyone out there knows something good like that, please let me know. snowboardprocamp@gmail.com. Also, guys, if you guys haven't yet, hit the like button. Let's try to get this to 250 likes. Thanks for the 222. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for tuning in. It's been awesome. This is my favorite day of the week. Every Friday, talking to you guys on here live. I wish I could just hang out here all night with you guys and talk. Unfortunately, I gotta eat some dinner. It's getting a bit late for dinner, but yeah, thank you guys all so much. And yeah, hit the bell beside the subscribe button too, because you get notifications. And yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. I hope that you guys are getting good snow where you're at. I know that on the East Coast, it's getting pretty cold. You guys are going through like a cold snap, so hopefully you guys are getting lots of good snow out on the East Coast. If you're down in the States, on the West Coast, I hope you guys are getting snow. I'm coming to California Sunday, so if you guys are in California, yeah, look, I'll be in Mammoth, so maybe I'll see some of you guys down there. And yeah, if you guys are coming to Whistler, let me know. So yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. We're going to go to Patreon in 1 hour. So 1 hour from now, we're going to do the Patreon live chat. So if you guys want another 30 minutes of live chat, I'm going to do one in 1 hour on Patreon. So it's patreon.com/SnowboardProCamp. And what we do over there is basically you get 3 rewards for $3. So the $3 helps to support the channel, helps us to buy all the new gear. And then the 3 rewards are, so the first one is we do the live chat every week. So it's like a much like smaller group of people. It's just way easier to talk. There's maybe like 20 people on the live chat, so it's like a really small way to talk to everyone. The other bonus thing is we do bonus tip videos, so extra tips on the videos that we already put up, just to like, yeah, just either tips that don't make it into the video or just like extra tips to, yeah, give extra value over on Patreon. And then the third cool thing that's on Patreon is that we upload extra videos that don't make it onto the YouTube channel. So the video today that I did with Andreas at Comore, we're going through all those boards and like figuring out if I got the right one. We also did like a short video that was like us picking our best snowboard top sheet, the best artwork, and we kind of talked about that. And it was just more of like a fun video. So it was not quite for the YouTube channel because we kind of just did it one take, but it's like a fun video that we're gonna put up onto Patreon. I've actually made it. I'm just gonna put it up on Patreon tonight. So if you guys can join me over there. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. It's been super fun. And oh, so one more super chat. Twisted, $2. Thanks, man. Should I buy boots online or at a shop? Ooh, it's tough. If you got a shop nearby, yeah, head into your local shop. But if they don't have the brand or the make or model that you like, check them out online. And if you, yeah, that's about it. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next Monday from Mammoth. That'll be the next live chat. So we'll see you guys then. I'll be with TJ. Have a good night, guys. See you next time.